where Gene Hackman, 95, and his wife Betsy Arakawa, 65, and a dog were found deceased.
Welcome back to our channel. On February 26, 2025, Hollywood was shaken by the news of the death of Gene Hackman, the Oscar-winning screen legend, and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. Their bodies were discovered in their private home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, a place that had once been a peaceful sanctuary for the couple, now suddenly transformed into the scene of a chilling mystery. But what makes this case even more unsettling are the unanswered questions.
Well, they're saying that, at least that there are no signs of trauma.
There were no signs of forced entry, no external injuries, no emergency calls made. Just two lifeless bodies, a deceased dog, and a series of puzzling details. What really happened inside that house? Was it a natural health-related incident, a tragic chain of events, or is there something far more sinister lurking beneath the surface? As the initial autopsy report was released, disturbing details began to emerge. Yet instead of providing clarity, they only deepened the mystery. Let's delve into the eerie findings from the forensic investigation to understand why Gene Hackman's death remains an unsettling enigma.
Security then checked on the residence and observed Mr. Hackman and Miss Arakawa on the ground unresponsive.
Public reaction. As soon as news of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's deaths was announced, Hollywood and fans around the world were left in shock. Hackman, one of the greatest legends of American cinema, known for delivering powerful and psychologically complex performances, had now departed in a tragedy shrouded in mystery. The death of a major star always brings sorrow, but the strange circumstances surrounding this case made it impossible for the public to stop asking questions. Social media erupted with countless theories. Some believed it was a natural tragedy, Hackman passing away due to old age, with Arakawa succumbing to grief shortly after. But others found it hard to accept that a couple living in a well-equipped home in a bustling community could die in silence for over a week without anyone noticing.
A German Shepherd was also found deceased. Both individuals tested for carbon monoxide.
In the entertainment industry, many colleagues expressed their deep condolences. Morgan Freeman, who worked with Hackman in Unforgiven, shared, "Gene wasn't just an incredible actor. He was a sincere, humble, and passionate man. I can't imagine what he went through in his final moments. I just hope he and Betsy found peace in the end." However, not everyone believed in a peaceful passing. Actor Randy Quaid, known for his controversial conspiracy theories about Hollywood, posted a cryptic tweet filled with suspicion. "This was not a natural death. Gene Hackman and his wife were murdered. I've seen this happen before. Hollywood never lets a powerful man like Gene Hackman go quietly."
We're going to take a protracted period of time, full-body x-rays, examination of the clothing.
Quaid's tweet quickly became a trending topic, prompting major news outlets to investigate whether there was any basis for his claims. The Santa Fe police dismissed the rumors, stating that there were no signs of foul play or forced entry. Yet gaps in the case left the public questioning. Adding fuel to the fire, an extended investigation explored the possibility of toxic gas exposure, but results showed no traces of carbon monoxide poisoning. This only deepened the mystery, as it ruled out one of the most plausible explanations. The media continued to dissect every detail of the case, while fans honored Gene Hackman's legacy by revisiting his classic films like The French Connection, The Conversation, Superman, and Unforgiven. But rather than just mourning his loss, the world was left grappling with an unanswered question. As forensic reports underwent further analysis, the public eagerly awaited a definitive explanation. But would the truth ever come to light? Or would this mystery only grow darker? A haunting crime scene. Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's home in Santa Fe had once been a peaceful retreat surrounded by nature. But on February 26, 2025, it became the setting of a chilling mystery. Their bodies were discovered by a maintenance worker after neighbors reported not seeing them for some time. Yet, What was found inside the house only deepened the enigma. Hackman, 95, was found collapsed on the floor near the main entrance. His sunglasses and cane were neatly placed beside him, as if he had been preparing to leave but suddenly fell. There were no signs of a struggle, no visible injuries, and no record of an emergency call ever being made. Police quickly noticed a strange detail. Hackman's pacemaker had last registered activity on February 17th, indicating he had been dead for at least 9 days before being found. But if Hackman had been deceased for over a week, where had Betsy Arakawa been during that time? Arakawa's body was discovered in the bathroom, near a fallen space heater. Prescription pills were scattered on the sink, but there were no signs of injury or foul play. The crucial question was, did she die before or after Hackman? If she passed away soon after him, why was there a noticeable difference in the decomposition of their bodies? If she had survived for days, why hadn't she called for help or attempted to leave the house? But the most unsettling clue came from an unexpected source, a small animal in the home. Zinna, a 12-year-old Australian Kelpie mix, was found dead inside a closed closet. Initial reports mistakenly claimed that Bear, the couple's German shepherd, had also perished, but police later confirmed that Bear had survived. So who had locked Zinna in the closet, and why? If Zinna had hidden inside on her own, what had scared her so badly that she sought refuge in such a confined space? If someone had placed her there, was it Hackman, Arakawa, or a third party? Why was Zinna the only one who didn't survive, while the other dogs remained unharmed? Preliminary reports indicated that Zinna had no signs of poisoning or trauma. The most likely cause of death was dehydration after being trapped for days without food or water. But this raised yet another disturbing question. Why was only Zinna locked away? The most inexplicable element of the case was the complete lack of forced entry or signs of a struggle. If this was simply a case of natural causes, why were there so many unsettling details? If Hackman had indeed died on February 17th and Arakawa had been alive for several days afterward, why had she taken no action to seek help? Authorities searched the entire house, inspected the gas system, and conducted toxicology tests. Yet they found no evidence suggesting foul play. But instead of bringing clarity, this only made the case more baffling. Was this nothing more than a tragic sequence of events? Or was there still a missing piece in this mysterious puzzle? Conflicting clues. As the investigation continued, the inconsistencies surrounding Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's deaths only grew more perplexing. If this were merely a natural tragedy, why were there so many details that defied explanation? Police were quick to confirm that there were no signs of foul play, no forced entry, and no visible injuries on either body. Yet, the circumstances at the scene painted a picture full of contradictions. The first major enigma investigators faced was the timeline of their deaths. According to data from Hackman's pacemaker, his heart stopped beating on February 17th, at least 9 days before his body was discovered. This indicated a sudden death, likely due to cardiac arrest or a similar health complication. But what complicated matters further was the condition of Arakawa's body. If she had died at the same time as Hackman, her body should have exhibited a similar level of decomposition. However, preliminary forensic reports suggested that her remains were better preserved, implying that she may have survived for some time after Hackman's passing. If this were true, then what exactly happened in the days that followed? If Betsy Arakawa had been alive in the house for nearly a week after Hackman's death, why hadn't she called anyone? There was no evidence that the landline or cell phones in the home had been used during that time. Why would a healthy woman, living in a fully equipped house, choose complete silence after her husband's sudden death? If she had been in shock to the point of being unable to think or react, there should have been at least some sign that she attempted to survive. But when police examined the home, they found that the refrigerator remained fully stocked, with no indication that any food had been consumed during that period. This raised a critical question. Had Arakawa truly been alive for 9 days? Or had she died soon after Hackman, with her body mysteriously decomposing at a slower rate? In the bathroom, where Arakawa's body was found, police discovered an open prescription bottle with several pills scattered across the sink. If she had been trying to take medication to stabilize herself, why was there no evidence that she had actually ingested the pills? There was no glass of water nearby, no signs of vomiting, and no indications of convulsions, common symptoms of an overdose or adverse drug reaction. So why was the pill bottle open, and who had left it that way? If Arakawa had collapsed suddenly, why hadn't she reached for a phone to call for help? All of these details created a gaping hole in the timeline, one that couldn't be easily explained by natural causes or psychological shock. But perhaps the most bizarre detail in the entire case had nothing to do with the victims themselves, but rather with a small animal in the house, Zinna, their 12-year-old Australian Kelpie mix. When the maintenance worker entered the home, they found Zinna dead inside a closed closet. Initial reports mistakenly suggested that Bear, Hackman's beloved German Shepherd, had died, but police later clarified that Bear was still alive and had been taken to an animal care center. So why had Zinna died? And more importantly, why had she been locked inside a closet? If Hackman or Arakawa had put her in there, it meant the action had been taken before their deaths. But if that were the case, why had only one dog been confined while the others remained free to roam the house? The possibility that Zinna had wandered into the closet and accidentally shut herself inside seemed highly unlikely. A dog might seek shelter when frightened, but there was no logical reason why she would trap herself in a tight space with no escape. If someone had closed the closet door, it had to have been Hackman, Arakawa, or an unknown third party. But if someone had truly locked Zinna inside before they died, what was the motive? A dog without food or water would succumb to dehydration within days, meaning that if Zinna had been confined, she likely died very shortly after Hackman's passing. But why? Police examined every possible cause, including carbon monoxide poisoning, but all tests confirmed that there were no traces of toxic gases in the home. There were no signs of burglary, no evidence of a struggle, and no indication that an outsider had entered the house in the days leading up to Hackman and Arakawa's deaths. Everything pointed to this being a completely random sequence of events, but the sheer number of strange coincidences made it feel almost too perfect to be mere happenstance. With all these conflicting details, the case was no longer just a simple instance of two elderly individuals passing away naturally. Every piece of evidence, instead of providing answers, only raised more questions. If Hackman had died of old age and heart disease, why had Betsy Arakawa taken no action for days? If she had died immediately after Hackman, why did her body not decompose at the same rate? If no one else had entered the home, who had locked Zinna in the closet? And finally, why was there no record of an emergency call, even though Hackman was elderly and had a known history of heart conditions? The deeper investigators dug, the more inexplicable the case became. The deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa might have been a tragic coincidence, but they could also be part of a much more complex story. And as the police continued their investigation, one lingering question remained. Was this truly just a series of unfortunate events, or was there a deeper mystery waiting to be uncovered? Theories about Arakawa's death. The deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa may have been the result of a tragic sequence of natural events, or they may conceal something far more perplexing. As investigators analyzed every detail of the scene, multiple theories emerged, each opening new avenues of suspicion or leaving behind unanswered questions. One of the most plausible explanations is that Hackman died from sudden cardiac arrest, while Arakawa succumbed later due to psychological shock or health complications. According to medical records, Hackman had a history of heart disease and had a pacemaker. Data from the device confirmed that his heart stopped on February 17th, abruptly, without any prior warning signs. This aligns with a severe arrhythmia, which can strike without leaving any external evidence. But if Hackman died instantly with no opportunity to call for help, why did Arakawa also fail to seek assistance? The first theory suggests that she experienced extreme emotional shock, rendering her incapable of thinking or reacting normally. However, even in a state of shock, survival instincts would typically drive a person to drink water or eat, especially when food and pets were readily available in the house. If she had survived for several days after Hackman's passing, why did her body show no signs of severe dehydration or starvation? Another possibility is that Arakawa attempted to administer medication to Hackman but was too late. The scene in the bathroom suggests she may have tried to open a prescription bottle, though it remains unclear whether it was meant for Hackman or herself. If she was overwhelmed and panicked, she could have mistakenly taken the wrong medication or overdosed. However, there were no signs of vomiting or convulsions, symptoms commonly associated with overdose. A third theory, one of the most controversial, is that Arakawa was physically weakened over several days but did not recognize that she needed help. If she suffered from severe dehydration or malnutrition, her cognitive state could have deteriorated, preventing her from making rational decisions. This could explain why she didn't leave the house or call anyone, but it does not explain why the other two dogs survived while Zinna was found locked inside a closet. This leads to a more unsettling question. Was Zinna intentionally locked in? If Arakawa had indeed survived for a short period after Hackman's death, she might have placed the dog in the closet for some reason, perhaps out of fear or to maintain control over the situation. But why only Zinna, while Bear and Nikita remained free? If she had confined the dog, when did she do it? A more extreme theory suggests the involvement of a third party. Police found no signs of forced entry, no evidence of a struggle, yet it remains possible that someone else had been in the house at some point and left without leaving a trace. If that were the case, what was their intent? And why would they leave without calling for help? There is also a lesser discussed but still plausible hypothesis, the possibility of poisoning or exposure to an undetected lethal substance. Some cases of unexplained deaths have been linked to exposure to colorless gases or toxic chemicals. The initial reports ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning, but could another type of gas or toxin have been responsible? Authorities are still awaiting full toxicology results. But if no traces of poison or foreign substances are found in Hackman and Arakawa's systems, then what exactly caused their deaths? Was this truly just a series of unfortunate coincidences, one natural death triggering another, or is there still a hidden element yet to be uncovered? Even as investigators continue to narrow down possibilities, no single theory fully explains the case without leaving lingering questions. This uncertainty makes the deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa one of the most baffling mysteries in Hollywood history. Despite weeks of investigation, the autopsy report has yet to provide a satisfactory explanation. Preliminary results indicate no signs of violence, no external injuries, and no toxic substances found in the bodies of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa. Data from Hackman's pacemaker confirms that his heart stopped on February 17th, but the exact cause of his cardiac arrest remains undetermined. As for Arakawa, the report found no evidence of poisoning or drug overdose, yet the precise time of her death has not been established. This means that even with a full forensic analysis, the biggest question remains unanswered. What really happened in their final days? If there were no signs of foul play, no toxins, and no other unusual causes, why did they die in such a mysterious manner, days apart? Investigators are still awaiting the toxicology results, considered the final piece of the puzzle in determining the true cause of death. If no traces of poisoning, drug overdose, or any external factors are found, then the deaths of Hackman and Arakawa will remain an inexplicable tragedy. But if an unusual substance is detected in their blood, could it reveal a darker truth about what really happened inside that house? Hollywood has witnessed many mysterious deaths of legendary stars, but Gene Hackman's case presents too many anomalies that no single theory can fully explain. If this was merely a tragic coincidence, why are there so many unresolved questions? If a hidden secret remains undiscovered, will we ever know the truth? The public continues to follow every new development, and when the final reports are released, will they provide closure or only deepen the mystery? Regardless of the outcome, Hackman's death has cast a long shadow over Hollywood, a place where not every story comes with a clear resolution. As the final autopsy results are made public, many hope they will bring an end to the speculation. But instead, they have only made the mystery even deeper. Is there something beyond the reach of science, something yet to be explained? Or is there still a missing piece in this story? What do you think about the mysteries surrounding the deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa? Was it just an unfortunate series of coincidences, or is there something yet to be uncovered? Do you have any theories about the strange details found at the scene? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to join us in uncovering more of Hollywood's greatest mysteries.